Hello, everybody, and welcome to another installment of the Rogue Soul channel. I'm your host Javante, and I'm coming to you here today with another video, another heart to heart, and also a bit of a celebration. For those of you that don't know, here in the United States, I don't know if it's abroad as well, but the month of June is Pride Week. And with me being a homosexual male, um, I just wanted to come through and say, of course, happy Pride. Happy Pride, happy Pride, happy Pride. Now, this is an I also came through, of course, with another heart to heart. Fix this mic real quick. I'm just gonna hold it. If you can't see, my shirt says love is love because love is love, no matter who you love. Now, for this conversation today, it's going to be very new for me. Now, I have celebrated Pride before, but it's not something that I do on a consistent basis, like at all. I want to get into the spirit of celebrating it, just as a point of embracing who I am and just celebrating that and celebrating that fact. I am very I'm much more okay with it now. I'm just reflecting on my life. I'm much more okay with it now than I was, hell, even a year ago. A big part of my life, I just wanted to be able to, for lack of better words, code switch. Be able to sort of like turn off or turn on like different things that might tell who I really am. For those of you in the African American community, I mean, some of us may code switch when we are like at work. We would talk in a different lingo, in a different manner. That's not something that we would typically talk like on a daily basis. And I mean, not just in a professional manner, past that. I mean, it's like you're a totally different person when you're at work. Not professional, because you can be professional and still be you at the same point in time. I'm talking about a complete switch, a complete change. Now, for me, a big part of that was I wanted to be able to blend in with everybody. I wanted to be cool and happy with everybody. I didn't need, just because the fact that I was just gay, to affect relationships or potential relationships with people. I wanted to be able to be okay with everyone. Now, of course, over time, I had to learn you can't, that's just simply not possible. Everybody is not going to be your friend. Everybody is not going to love everything that you say or like you or anything like that. But I wanted to give myself the best chance, being out there in the real world. So, with the course of doing that, I became a very like unexpectedly, I became a very jealous person. I became very jealous when I would see other homosexual people or lesbians or any of the such, um, like together with like either their friends or with their lovers or partners or anything like that, because like it was like they were out in the open, and it just seemed like it was okay for them, but they didn't have like what I had going on or what I was trying to like achieve or wanted to achieve, or you know, I just felt it was always different for me because other people didn't have the same worries. Other people didn't have the same goals. Other people didn't have the same, well, anything in regards to you. And I also got jealous of just regular people in general, even like heterosexual relationships, because, you know, everybody can walk down the street like it's normal. If when you're, heterosexual, you can walk down the street like it's a normal thing. It's a normal thing for you to hold hands, with your woman, for a man and woman to hold hands. It's a normal thing for them to kiss randomly on the street. It's a normal thing for them to have these sort of like PDAs. It's normal for them to be, affectionate in multiple ways, like in public and around people, and not have to worry about any side eyes or any glances or anything like that, or any possible harm coming to them, or any possible verbal abuse towards them. And to me, I couldn't do that if I wanted to. Um, and I didn't feel that it was fair. And I became a very jealous person. And then, of course, with that jealousy, it spurred anger within me. It spurred a lot of anger within me. And I had to, for me, I had to find a way to shut that out so I could complete what I needed to complete in life, as far as gaining stability, gaining like positions like at work, and making for sure everything is taken care of as far as like household, you know, bills are paid, rent is paid, you're on good terms with your landlord, and your landlord doesn't, know really anything about you aside from you are a tenant, never really letting anybody get that close, or never really like spouting out, really who I am as a person, just to maintain this neutral thing, just so I didn't have any hate coming towards me or any discrimination coming towards me. I didn't want any of the things. Any of the things, I did not want it. I didn't want any of the isms. I didn't want any of the discriminations. I didn't want any of the things. I'm just a normal man. I'm walking in here to either work, to apply for housing, or, this, that, and the third. And I didn't want the fact that, I was gay to be a determining factor, or be a reason that caused me to not receive any benefits with life, or any like basic care, or anything like that. So, I just always kept myself on a straight and narrow, and not really bothered to let people really get to know the real me, or even like really be out there and open with, my sexuality, just period, point blank. Just not really just out and open with it. You know, I never, at a point while growing up, yes, I was, in the closet. And then once I got grown, I sort of just developed the mentality, well, of course, I'm not going to just straight up like tell people that or anything like that. If people so happen to find out, then oh well, that's on them. It doesn't really, it's too late at that point. You found out, oh well. But I wasn't going to outwardly just display that. I had no interest in participating in pride. I have no interest of going to drag shows or going to anything that has to do with like the community. And anyway, I had other focuses. I didn't want any parts of that because, at that point, I was sort of not sort of, just disassociating myself from, a part of myself, just for the sake of safety, comfortability, and, being able to make for sure that I survive in this world. You know, that's where a lot of my tactics, with how I've been going through life, up until like this point, have been literally for survival, have been literally for, okay, what can I do to make myself safer? What can I do to make myself just safe, period? What can I do to make myself actually like feel better? What can I do to make myself stable? I I didn't want to end up in bad situations, just because I was discriminated upon, because I was gay. And I didn't I wasn't, open about it like with work. I didn't give a damn about that. I wasn't telling anybody. I didn't care who you were. I wasn't open about it with friends. I didn't give a damn about it. I wasn't telling you, that part of myself. I wasn't open about it with family because I didn't want to lose the family that I had, and I felt that, with being a homosexual, a, a lot of my family would have closed themselves off, to me, from me. Um, I remember at points, where, my mother, when I'd have a little slip ups here and there, with like text messages and shit like that, as far as, dating and dating around and whatnot, when I was like a teenager, still in school or whatever, like um from like, ninth grade to like junior year, beginning of junior year, yeah. I've had like little slip ups and whatnot, just due to like circumstances where, she would happen to, like, my mother would happen to see text messages um, to certain people that I was dating, like on my phone or whatnot, which were, other boys or, other men like me. And I remember, um, I mean, it's hard for me to talk about. I remember seeing her. I remember this particular time. Okay, just to be honest and upfront, because it's not like the first time she has asked me. First couple of times she asked me, it was out of anger. It was like just anger. It was like you better not be type of anger that would rise up. But I remember the third and final time she asked, and at that point I didn't come out and say that I was fully, full-fledged gay. I came out and said that I was curious at that point to sort of like lighten the blow and, like mitigate damages. And I remember seeing her cry, and start saying stuff like, just like, where did I go wrong? And like I had, where did I fail as a parent? And then I remember getting extremely upset and leaving and fully moving back into like my grandmother's house. And I remember the time before that, she had asked me out of anger. And then she had said, well, if you are gay, it's not that, we wouldn't love you, but we wouldn't allow you to like be around, like your cousins or like, a lot of like your family, because a lot of that we don't condone that. And that pissed me off as well, as a teenager. I was already angry at the world as a teenager, and it was just all these conversations, and it just sent me like just over the moon. So I just felt like in order for me to like maintain peace and comfort and not have to go through that with family, and for me to just be okay, would be to not disclose that information at all. I felt like the best thing for me to do was to leave. Yeah, was to leave, was to work hard, leave, make something of myself, so that I wasn't just known as like this little weird gay boy, you know, to go and be somebody, to find a purpose and be that, to find some type of skill that I'm good at and utilize that. And through all my trials and struggles with that, with literally trying and failing at it, trying and failing at it, trying and failing at it, and then winding up in a space where, I am very much so stable. I, make plenty of money to take care of myself and then some. And, you know, being able to afford to help out, the family I do have now. And just realizing at a certain point, I still wasn't happy, even with obtaining that, even with obtaining the stability, even with obtaining, your own. My biggest thing was stability and peace of mind. I obtained, my stability. I thought I was obtaining my peace of mind, but really I wasn't fully at peace because I still wasn't fully being myself. And I already had these preconceptions that were engraved in me, that I'm still working to unengrave, to sort of like get out of to this day, that you have to hide who you really are in order to be able to succeed. Hide who you are, follow the rules, keep a low profile, and be on the move until you achieve your goals. And, you know, just going through life like that, I didn't realize that I wasn't living, that I wasn't truly making friends. And then when I did realize it, I didn't know what to do to sort of to stop that. Because, what does that mean? When you start, participating in LGBTQ stuff at work, or, if people at work happen to ask you because, you stopped, I don't know, just if people were to ask you at work and you actually tell them like yes or anything like that. Or if you are out there and you're meeting people, whether it be for, friendships and stuff, and you let them know that you are gay or you are lesbian or whatever, what does that mean after then? I didn't know that. And now I'm in the process of building the courage to, well, not necessarily just building the courage, like more so having the courage, just having the courage to step more into that. I joined the LGBT organization at work. It's like an extracurricular organization that you can, join. I joined that. When people ask me, at work, I tell them yes. And I haven't had any bad experiences with that. I've had, the people I have told at work, they didn't treat me like different. They didn't treat me mean. They didn't do any of that. They didn't do any like discriminatory thing, or any doing like hate crimes or anything like that towards me. And I was very much so happy that I was able to, nervous but happy that I was able to at least be able to express a part of myself that I never expressed really. And as I'm coming to it, over time, I did end up going to a drag show, and I thought it was fun. I thought it was a little cute little thing that they do. I like it. It's fun. I did go to a pride celebration. It was a bit of a culture shock to me. Not this year, but previous years. Like about 2 years ago, I went to like a pride celebration in my state, and it was a bit of a culture shock to me, seeing all those people dressed different, wearing different things, and hell, even makeup. I know you see, my eyes are did. My cousin had did my makeup for Pride, and I want to. Well, for for my pride video that I'm doing right now, I wanted to, showcase that, and getting more so comfortable with just expression in different forms. I've never been the type of person to wear makeup, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not a makeup person now, but I'm open to having these like experiences of expression, and plus it doesn't it doesn't hurt to just do something out the pocket every once in a while, do something different. And it was just nice to see people, a whole bunch of people do that, and it not be like discrimination about it, not be any craziness happening. it it's just people being free, being loving, and nothing crazy going down, just everybody just being truly happy with themselves. It was a great experience. I mean, it came with its own like set of challenges with myself as far as the culture shock, um, that I had to deal with. I think at some point I even ended up crying. Yes, if I remember correctly, at a point I did end up crying, and I think it was at the parade. And yeah, it was at the parade. It was just a lot to take in for me. It wasn't anything I ever been a part of, but throughout learning and growing, and being okay with my community and embracing more of my community, I'm actually happy to be a part of it. I'm actually happy to be able to be in it and be okay. Now, I say all of that to say this. I'm not I'm not always I'm still not always forthcoming with everything. And it's still hard for me to trust people. It's still hard for me to trust information about myself being put out there, because I don't know what other people, I can't control what other people do with it. And that's a big one. That's like, for me, it's just being in control of my situations and being in control of um, what I can do and the moves that I make, and how I can be. So it's still a struggle for me. It's still a struggle for me. It's still something that I'm working through. It's still something that I'm very much every day still taking steps um, still taking steps to get more comfortable and to be more free in that regard. You know, from going to thinking that heterosexual people, they have it just everyone else, not even just that, just everyone else just having it normal and different, that I would see personally, not just out there in the world, but that I would see how they have it so much better. How nice it would be to walk down the street holding your lover's hand and not have a rock thrown at you, not have any verbal abuse thrown at you, no disgusted looks. How nice for it to be a cultural norm for you to love who you love, but for me, I would get torn down. Just going from like those feelings into feelings of everyone has their place. in life. And when I say that, I don't say that as in it's a hierarchy or anything like that. I say that as in it's a space for everybody to occupy. It's a space for everyone to be able to love who they want to love. It's a space for everyone to be who they want to be and be who they actually are. It's a space just for you, period, point blank. And you don't have to be, I don't have to be jealous of anybody because everybody has their own things that they have to go through in their own spaces. Everyone has the stuff they have to put up with in their own spaces. Everyone has their own feelings, their own prejudices, their own things that they have to deal with in their spaces. It's not just a certain group of people. It's not everyone is okay and you're not, and you're not okay. It's anybody can talk about anybody. Anybody can throw a stone at anybody. Anybody that shows just a little bit of being different, and even if you don't, everybody has a capability of talking about everybody. Everybody has the same capacity of love as they do with hate. Everyone has the same amount of light and dark within themselves. So just realizing that and realizing that at the end of the day, you might as well just be yourself. Because being somebody else or being a version of yourself or being a version that you create and trying to aspire to be that, all you're doing is just shelling a part of yourself out. And you're not going to feel happy and complete until that part of yourself that you're encasing, that you're trying to hide away, gets to express itself. So, my encouragement to myself, and to whoever, this touches, if it touches anybody out there, if anybody out there could relate, or if anybody out there, if this touches your heart and encourages you to choose to be yourself, because I'm using this to encourage me to be myself further, to continue on that path of expressing yourself, expressing how you feel, expressing who you are regardless, whether it be plain face and makeup, whatever you want to wear, and being happy and being cool. With that said, I just encourage myself and I encourage you and everybody, be yourself and have yourself a wonderful evening. All right, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for, stopping by. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for another heart to heart, allowing me to do another heart to heart. And yep, I look forward to doing more of these. So again, happy Pride. Happy Pride. Enjoy yourselves and be who you are. Bye.